What's going on, everyone? I just got home from work, and you know what that means. Time to make more content to feed the insatiable hunger that you all have. I am the YuGiOh Scrub, but you all can call me Bailey. I'm at 399 subscribers right now. One more till 400, and you could be the lucky 400 if it's not at 400 already. And you know what that would do? It would make me happy. You want me to be happy, right? Of course you do. Because we're all good people here who love to see others happy. We don't thrive on hatred. We love. Regardless, I'm wearing my Scooby-Doo shirt because we're playing with some monsters, baby. You know, the hardest part about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is knowing when to activate your spells and traps. There's so many decisions that you can make during your opponent's turn. Do I want to activate Mirror Force? Do I want to activate Torrential Tribute? Well, we're running basically none of those. We're running one trap, two spells. But you guys can see here, here's the deck. You know, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll talk about it real fast. Obviously, if you're running a Monster Mash deck, you're going to run 3 Gallus of Star Beast. The best card in the deck, or at least one of the most Monster Mash-esque cards. You can only run it in Monster Mash because you mill a card, you do some damage to your opponent, but really what it is it's a free special summon that mills a card. Because it's a free special summon, we're running 3 Caius and 2 Cyber Dragon, along with 2 Fader, just kind of facilitating the tributes. I decided I wanted to go with a Machina engine. So running triple Force, triple Fortress, and triple Gear Frame, along with a Gores, because you're of course going to run Gores in Monster Mash. Running the Super Nimble Mega Hamster Raikou to help make tribute fodder for the Caius, as well as milling the Fortresses. Because we also want some other cards to mill, and we just need as many monsters as possible. Running Plague and Necro, along with 2 Dandy, decent to mill, because we're also running Quick Draw Synchron. It's a machine to potentially discard for Fortress. It's a way to get the Fortress into the grave. We're also running 1 Sangan because it can search basically anything in this deck that we might need. Tragodia, and then 2 Witch of the Black Rose. This card, also one of the staples in a Monster Mash deck. Level 4 Tuner, which is very rare in Edison format. Cannot be special summoned if it's normal summoned and you control no other cards. You draw 1 card, show it, and if it's a monster, then you keep it, and if it's not, you send it to the graveyard and destroy Witch of the Black Rose. So unfortunately, it can destroy itself if we get one of our 2 Avarice or Treacherous Trap Hole, but most of the time, like very high percentage, it's going to be getting just basically a free +1 and a level 4 tuner, which actually lets us use some of our extra deck options here. Because it's a Monster Mash side deck, I'll actually talk about it. We got triple Fossil Dyna, triple Kaiku, triple DD Crow, 2 Cyber Valleys, 3 Breakers, and the last Fader. We gotta run monsters, that's really it. Let's go ahead, save this, set it to default, which it already was, and let's go ahead and join the Edison format. We'll click ready, I'll click this button, so it looks a little bit better for you all. Still sad that it has changed its resolution, so now it has a kind of odd black spot on the side here. But I'd rather show you guys a little bit of a empty space than ads, because who wants ads in the middle of their YouTube video? Not for the video, but just in the video. No one. Opening hand, Gallus the Star Beast, Super Nimble Mega Hamster, Treacherous Trap Hole, Plague Spurter Zombie, and Caius the Shadow Monarch. My opponent won the Rock, Paper, Scissors because I'm the worst Rock, Paper, Scissors player in the world. And he just ends his turn right away. I think I'll set the Super Nimble Mega Hamster in Treacherous Trap Hole. I think we can save the Gallus for a tribute fodder for Caius. Treacherous Trap Hole will let us run over Gores if he does in fact have it in hand, which he kind of is posturing. I suppose he could just have a bricked hand. Dark Greffer. Pitching a Sirocco. Prio. Asking him, making him fear bottomless or something. Make him think, and I'll give him a thumbs up. No prio on the Dark Greffer. Make him fear, maybe bottomless or something. He tributes over for Treacherous Trap Hole. We'll banish the Nimble Mega Hamster. And I'll eat 2,400 because I want to Gallus and then summon the Caius. We draw a Raikou. We'll reveal Gallus the Star Beast, Milling Machina Gear Frame, and Special Summoning. He will take it is 200 times level, right? And we'll tribute the Gallus Star Beast for Caius. So it also, Gallus can be pretty nice if you, say, mill something like a Machina Force. It can do a lot of burn damage. And will attack for 24. Does he have Gores? He does. Unfortunate, but not really, because we have Treacherous Trap Hole. We'll let him likely just go to battle. If he tributes for Caius again, I'll be able to Treacherous Trap Hole, which is exactly what he does. And I'll eat 1,000. He'll probably go straight to battle. And I'll just Treacherous Trap Hole, getting rid of both his monsters. So 3 cards to 3 cards. I draw into my 4th and I get a YuGiOh. We'll set the YuGiOh. Machina Gear Frame would be a great draw. He Rhodas. Gear Frame could get us another Fortress. Fortress could discard itself. And the Fortress, discard 2 Fortresses to special summon the Fortress. Because you have to discard machines up to level 8. Not up to, but 8 or more, I should say. But you can, if you know, I imagine most of you probably do, but you can discard 2 Fortresses, which are level 14 in total, and special summon 1 Fortress. And, of course, he's got a Dark Armed. So we'll go ahead and end our suffering there. What do we want? Probably get rid of the quick draw stuff. Cyber Dragon could be okay. Fader seems fine. Maybe 1 Witch. Bring in our Kaikus and our DD Crows. And we'll go first again. Okay. Opening hand this time is Fortress, Fortress, Force, Gallus, Fader. We'll go ahead and just end our turn there. Could summon the Fortress and make him get over it, but we can summon the Fortress next turn. That's likely a YuGiOh. So we will reveal. And that's a bunch of damage right there. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he takes 2,000 damage. And we will tribute for Caius. It was a YuGiOh, just like I thought. And we'll go for game here. Special summoning a Fortress. Special summoning our other Fortress. And hopefully he doesn't have Gores. But it seems like he does. And he doesn't. Okay. What do we want to do here? Maybe bring in 1 Breaker over a Sandgan. Sandgan's good for searching. Maybe the DD Crow, but mostly Quick Draw and Dandy. Whatever piece you don't have. Potentially a Gallus to be able to summon itself for a Monarch. But Breaker, I don't feel like I've seen too much back row, but there's enough back row. Or if I was to draw the Breaker, I could see it being a nice normal summon turn 1. Opening hand here, Super Nimble Mega Hamster, Witch of the Black Rose, YuGiOh, Machina Force, and Kaiku. We certainly had a very good opening hand in the last game. Gallus being the best card you can possibly have. Alright. I think We can Witch of Black Rose, I think. And we get ourselves a Machina Gear Frame. And attack for 17. And get 17 damage in. Alright, no defense, unfortunately. No Faders, no Gores or Trag. Maybe running 3 Fader would be beneficial just because you don't have much defense in this deck. Because it's a Monster Mash deck. Other forms of Monster Mash, potentially Fairies, because it gives you Herald. I think the play here is going to be normal summon Gear Frame, declare, get ourselves a Fortress, and then we just have to Synchro for a Stardust. Now, do we special summon a Fortress? I don't think we do quite yet. So we just milling a Sirocco. And end phase, have to discard, so we'll discard the Machina Fortress. So he's got a Light and Dark and Grave. I imagine he viewed the graveyard. Maybe he'll banish for Chaos Sorcerer, which would be an out to the Stardust Dragon. I know there was a topping deck in the latest RBET, which was running Chaos Sorc, I believe, in a Vayu deck. Alright, draw another Machina Fortress. I think running out the Kaiku is the best option. And we'll special summon Fortress. And he's thinking, nope, it's fine. Attack with the Kaiku. And let's banish the Sirocco and the Cyber Dragon. Attack with Stardust. He deprisons the Stardust. And eats 2,500 from the Fortress. Feeling okay here. We got a strong boss monster and a Kaiku, which is stopping him from banishing any cards from the graveyard. If he is to do something with a Dark Grepher, pitching a bunch of stuff to the grave. He Cyber Dragons. Tributes for Caius. I'll take 1,000 damage, and he's probably going to attack for 24. Light and Dark and Grave, but only one Dark, so no Dad coming. Gear Frame would be a good draw. Gallus would be a good draw. He banishes my Fortress, unfortunately. Get a Cyber Dragon of my own. We'll special summon the Cyber Dragon. Pulling the rug. Bottomless Trap Hole. So he eats 1,000, but I have no defense, and I have to end. I think that was the right play, though. The other play could have been set Hamster or Raikou. Probably Hamster, and maybe tried to make myself tribute fodder for next turn. That might have been better, but it would rely on him not having a normal summon, which he likely will, because this deck runs a decent amount of normal summons. He sets one. I draw a Pot of Avarice. I also could have maybe summoned Cyber Dragon, normal summoned Plague, and made a Black Rose. Unfortunately, I think I have to set the Super Nimble Mega Hamster. That could be a Raikou, likely is a Raikou. Card Trooper. Milling Sirocco, Vayu, Plague. Wow. Very nice mills from him. That's as good as you can get. Getting a free level 6 Synchro. An Armed Wing, as well as a Plague. He uses the Plague effect. Wish I had a DD Crow. Maybe making an Android here. So he can start gaining some life points back. Or he's going to make a level 8 Synchro. By using Plague and Card Trooper and then the level 5 Synchro with the Gale. Or making a 6 and then an 8. Makes a YuGiOh Guardian. And this puts him at 3 Darks. Oh, of course he is Dad. GG's. Feel a little upset. We'll play again. Not really upset, but it just sucks. Dark Armed feels like such a sacky card. In a weird way, I'm fine losing to a Judgment Dragon. It's at 2. Machina Fortress is at 3 and it's searchable. Dark Armed is unsearchable. I guess it's searchable technically with the Monarch card. We got 2 Rock, Paper, Scissors in a row and I lose the 3rd. But it's searchable with that Monarch card that came out way, way, way later. Because I can search anything that's 2800, 1000. Opening hand, Cyber Dragon, Gallus, Super Nimble Mega Hamster, Dandelion, Pot of Avarice. Future Fusion, okay. Z revealing. Got 3 in the extra, so probably revealing. And he quit. That's why you gotta put stuff in your extra deck. Hate to be that guy, but there's a little bit of a difference between like having 14 or just, I mean, if you're running Future Fusion, please just put it in your extra deck. And I lose again. He's got a cool little duck picture here. I'm sorry, I just feel like if you're running 3 in your extra deck, but you're also running a deck that requires your extra deck, you should always have it filled out, but it's another thing if you're literally running Future Fusion, and part of the effect is Reveal a Fusion. Opening hand here, Double Caius, Cyber Dragon, Dandy, Raikou. So, depending on what he does... Triple Caius, okay. I think I'm gonna... Do I summon Dandy and expect it to be a Raikou? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to special Cyber Dragon and try to attack. Is it a Raikou? It's a Dandy of his own. Alright, and then we will set Raikou and end. Maybe setting Dandy was better to give ourselves more tokens to potentially tribute for the Caius next turn. We take 300. Felt like that one game win last game was pretty nice. Okay, we got a Machina Gear Frame. We'll try to attack over the token, which we do. And unfortunately, just have to end there. But we thinned our deck of one fortress. Would have been nice to get some mills. He beats us for 600. Well, no, what I haven't said yet. I hope you're having a great day. If you're not having a great day, go turn this video off, make yourself a great day, and then come back and finish this video. Okay. Well, we have to set the YuGiOh here. I have to assume that that isn't a YuGiOh, though it very well could be a YuGiOh. I just have to start putting some monsters on field. He makes a Lone Fire Blossom. Tributing a Dandy, likely for Titanial. Getting himself maybe another Lone Fire. Yep. Thinning his deck of a Lone Fire, putting 2 tokens on field. Tributing a token, almost certainly, for a Titanial. Tributate's a Lone Fire. I think that's the wrong play, personally. But he does make himself a Titanial. So, he negates our YuGiOh with the Titanial. And attacks for 24 with the Caius. We'll need a pretty decent draw here if we want to survive. Gores would not do it. Trag would do it. We get Pot of Avarice. That will not be enough, but we could set Dandelion and end. The Lone Fire being on field means next turn he's going to tribute the token, or maybe the other Lone Fire, get himself another Titanial, and that will almost certainly be the end of us. Dandelion might give us an extra turn. I would love if he just goes straight to attack here. If he attacks, then we'll be able to end our turn with 1 token. He summons a Stratos. Okay, so he's playing a hero deck as well. I think there might have been some heroes in the one of the topping versions of Quick Draw. I do love Quick Draw. I mean, everyone I feel like loves Quick Draw in Edison format. It just is one of those decks that feels the most GOAT format-esque, and by that, I mean that it feels like it's a pile of good cards. And there's something about playing non-archetype things. He does attack with the Titanial. So Gores would have been nice, but unfortunately no Gores. There's just something, though, about playing with a pile of good stuff that feels like a home brew. Feels like you put it together through these cool little ratios and cool interactions versus I'm playing Blackwings, and I play a Blackwing card in Black Whirlwind that searches me more Blackwings, and that gets me a Blackwing that will summon another Blackwing, and then I synchro into a Blackwing. Which is fine, if that's what you want to do, great. And there's stuff like Icarus Attack and some interesting things there. Unfortunately, we're going to have to give up game 1. So he's running Quick Draw. Fossil Dyna could be interesting. Maybe we run 2 Fossil Dyna over... I didn't see any Debris Dragon. I think I'm just going to run it back. But I personally like these decks that do feel like you're putting something special together. And I will admit Edison format is a little less pile-driven and more archetype-driven. And I don't mind archetypes. I mean, I do love Machinas, because I feel like Machinas are a sub-engine. Yes, it's an archetype, but you don't run a pure Machina deck. I think I like the Vayu Blackwing pile more, like the hybrid, because I like the fact that it's using Dark Greffers, and again, some of those interesting interactions. And I suppose at a certain point, it's basically me saying I like combo decks more than I like decks that rely on just spells and traps and, decent monsters. But maybe I'll make a Machina deck that's, like, very trap-heavy, so it just kind of tries to use this engine and a bunch of traps. Regardless, I'm rambling. Opening hand is Super Nimble Mega Hamster, Machina Fortress, Gores, Quick Draw, Machina Force, and Treacherous Trap Hole. We will set the Super Nimble Mega Hamster, and I think end? I think we'll end. Treacherous Trap Hole I could have set. If he's able to get a Titanial on field turn 1 by doing something like a Quick Draw, Discard Dandy, Summon Lone Fire, which that's exactly what he's... Oh my god, I swear if this is what happens. So, Quick Draw, pitches Dandy, summons 2 tokens, makes himself a Drill Warrior. Does he summon the Lone Fire? He uses the effective drill to make it half. I'll take 1,200. He's viewing his graveyard. Probably going to use the Drill Warrior effect. I do have Treacherous Trap Hole, which is a nice way to out the Drill Warrior. Pitches a Lila. Alright. We will flip summon Super Nimble Mega Hamster. Getting ourselves a face down defense position YuGiOh. Unfortunately, I think we're just going to attack over the token. And set Treacherous Trap Hole and end. He will special summon the Drill Warrior, adding back a monster. What does he get himself? Searches himself a Dandelion. Main phase 1. He might just activate the effect to have and try to attack in. Nope, he pitches the Dandelion and banishes, getting 2 tokens. Does he try to normal summon something? Okay, this is fine. Gets himself probably the Infernal guy, the Infernal hero. Yep. I'll eat 700 over the YuGiOh. Or over the hamster, I apologize. Get myself a Fader. Let's see here. So I could make a Junk Archer. I think that's the play. You could discard Machina Fortress. He'd get the drill. No, I think I'm actually just going to end. I'm feeling okay here. He'll get back the Drill Warrior, searching probably the Dandelion again. Getting himself a Lila. I'm going to chain to the effect. because he just banished it right away. So I don't believe Infernal Prodigy is discarded. Actually, no. I do think it's discarded. He's gonna think. What would he be thinking about? My body's a shield? I mean, I feel like you would slap that down immediately. I feel like you would slap it immediately. What else could he be thinking about? Book of Moon doesn't do anything. I don't believe he's running a absolute zero in this deck. I think Stratos is just a way to get the Infernal guy. Alright, both of those monsters go to grave. He has a Lila, because he searched that instead of Dandy, which makes sense. He already had 2 tokens on the field. He could, in theory, tribute for a Caius, which would get rid of my Raikou, but it would give me a Gores or a Fader. Maybe I would Fader. We'll flip and target that token. Milling 3, milling a Fortress and a Dandy, so we do finally have Fortress access. He eats 100 damage. Okay, and he's going to make a quick draw. You pitches Lila for quick draw, is going to make another Drill Warrior. That's fine. Maybe has another Dandy. Pitching Foolish Burial. Okay. So I think the play here is going to be Tribute for Caius. Assuming that goes through, we have game. It is a torrential. But that's fine. I can make a drill and make a drill and put a fortress on field. He will be getting back a drill in his standby phase. Does he have a Gores? Nope. Okay, so pretty good position here. He draws into 2 cards. He'll be getting back another one with a Drill Warrior, but we get back our Drill Warrior in our standby phase. He's likely going to get Dandelion if he needs to play defensive. Could maybe get back Infernal Prodigy if he has something like a Caius, but Caius would have to target Fortress, and then we'd be able to rip a card from his hand, assuming he can't set them all. So maybe a quick draw, potentially, if he's got something good to pitch for a discard. We have Fader, Gores in hand as some really nice defense. Well, nice defense for our deck. I think we would have had game if he didn't have Torrential Tribute. But honestly, I'm not sure. 23, because I think we would have been able to do 2,400 more damage to him. He might have been at 6. So, that's still fine, though. I would have loved to put him at 600 life points. I'd feel like getting that final little bit of damage, all it would take would be a Gallus. He does get back a Dandy. He might go for the direct attack. Might attack over our token. Next turn, with Drill Warrior coming back, I could get Machina Force, pitching that to special summon our other fortress. I put 2 fortresses on the field. He's viewing extra deck. Maybe trying to make a YuGiOh Guardian, but he has no tuners on field and no way that I can think of to get multiple things. Unless he has a Plague and he's trying to make a level 8. But if he's to do that, he could make a Thought Ruler. But if he attacks over Fortress, then I can pop basically whatever level 8 he makes. Stardust Dragon. I'll eat 1,200. I think I can handle 1,200. I don't want to go too low, though, because then the Gores becomes irrelevant. And he does pitch for the Dandy. Summons Debris Dragon. Getting back Dandy. Does he make a Black Rose? No, he makes Ancient Fairy Dragon. And sets another back row. Do we get... I think we get a Dandy. No, because he can attack... Maybe we get Caius. We pitch that. If it's Mirror Force, that would be very unfortunate. But I think I can live with it. I also could have left him with the Ancient Fairy Dragon so then he couldn't get himself a monster. We will pitch our Machina Force and banish our Drill Warrior. And let's try to attack over 2 tokens. Feeling okay here. We know he has access to Black Rose. I could Fade her, and I probably will if he tries to attack again with Drill Warrior. He gets back the Debris Dragon, which I suspected. But he might not want a Black Rose because he set his own back row. But I don't see what other level 8 would do anything at the moment. And Black Rose, especially when I'm going to be getting back a Drill Warrior, doesn't seem too relevant. But he could summon Thought Ruler. Thought Ruler would get him a bunch of life points because he can attack over the Caius now. But I don't know if the life points are exactly that important for him. Stardust would be able to negate the Machina Fortress, but he would have to put something bigger than Fortress on the field and Stardust so he could attack over the Fortress with whatever other monster. He does commit to the Debris Dragon, getting back the Dandy. He has to synchro for a level 8 if he wants to get the 2 Dandy tokens. If he synchros for a 7, he won't have enough space on the field, or he can use the Drill Warrior effect right now. Synchros for a level 8. Has to be a dragon, actually, so probably Stardust. Red Dragon Archfiend. That will... not destroy all his tokens, because he has to attack a defense position monster. Interesting position. And actually, no, it would... we'll use Battle Fader on his direct attack from the Drill Warrior. And he will banish the Drill Warrior, pitching his final card, which is Necro Gardna. And to get sort of all of his tokens. Okay. We get ourselves some cards. I think we could go for another Fortress, or Force, pitching it for the Fortress. Or maybe we go Dandy, summon Fortress. No, because if we go Dandy and then... yeah, let's go Dandy. I think I have a play here. We'll discard the Force, special summoning our other Fortress. Change Drill Warrior to defense and try to attack. And you would have to have... Necro Gardner will do it. Okay. So, Drill Warrior and attack probably would have been the best play. But I'm actually going to pitch the Gores over the Dandy. Because I don't think with 2 cards, and I mean, I suppose he could Black Rose here, and he now knows I won't have Gores. But he'd still have to get rid of his Drill Warrior now. And he has to be able to stop the Drill Warrior from attacking directly next turn. Okay. Now that I saw Fossil Dyna actually can also mess with this deck a decent amount. We're going to take out my Dandelion cards. My quick draws. We'll get rid of the Sangan too. He doesn't want to do a lot of banishing from the graveyard. But I think Fossil Dyna will be a nice way to stop his Drill Warrior loop. I do feel like my quick draws, although they came in handy there, he's just running a better pure quick draw deck. Opening hand here, DD Crow, YuGiOh, Super Nimble Mega Hamster, Machina Force, and Necro Guardian. Necro Gardna. What the hell is a Gardna? Apologies, gotta quickly check my phone. It's the lady. We'll see her later when she's home from work. He Foolish Burials. Pitching maybe a Dandy. Maybe a Dandy if he's got YuGiOh. Not YuGiOh, if he's got Quick Draw. Would be the worst. But if he Dandy and then Debris, that would be not too bad. If he Debris, I can banish the DD Crow. Discard my DD Crow, banishing the Dandelion. Okay, so it is a Dandelion. Does he go for a Debris Dragon or a Quick Draw? I feel like he's posturing a Quick Draw more than a Debris Dragon, but it could be both. My preference would be that he Quick Draws and then tries to Debris Dragon. That is, so far, so good. Getting rid of another Quick Draw. Making himself the Drill Warrior. Pitching, wow. 3 Quick Draw Synchrons in his opening hand. Okay. I think Gallus is going to be nice to keep in hand. I think setting Super Nimble Mega Hamster's a better play right now. I think keeping Gallus in hand for a potential Caius that I draw is better. He gets the Dandy. He tributes for the Caius himself. Unfortunate. Should have known. It's the #1 played card in Edison format. Okay. The fear of Gores makes him not go for it. And this is pretty nice. We get a gear frame. Declare gear frame. Getting ourselves a fortress. And we will, unfortunately, pitch force to special the fortress. Would have liked to keep the force in hand and discard 2 fortresses. He's going to be getting back Dandelion unless I banish it next turn. I think what we do... Unfortunately, we do mill spell trap. We mill one of our 3 spell traps, and we mill the Pot of Avarice. But because of that, I think the play here is to attack his tokens. And we will attach the gear frame to the fortress and end. So I'm forcing him to get back a quick draw synchron, which is fine. I wanted to make sure that he didn't have the Dandy Recursion Loop nor Dandy Engrave to potentially special summon from a Debris Dragon. I have the biggest monster on the field. The reason I didn't want to get rid of the Caius is because he would then be able to tribute over the token that was left on the field. Because I wanted to get rid of the Caius and both tokens, but the Gallus going to grave stopped me from getting any tokens. He does just banish, get discarding the quick draw, and setting a back row, setting 2 back row, and tributing for the Caius. Of course he has. Okay. We get a Gallus, but unfortunately, we'll just go ahead and set a YuGiOh. Best cards here might be milling a Plague, maybe a Dandelion. He does get the Caius, and it's going to be game. Yep, tribute's over. Caius for Caius. And 2400 loop. GG's. Unfortunate. What was our next draw? Machina Force. Okay. Would have been nice. Actually, no, would not have been nice because we don't have a card engrave. Well, that's going to be it for me. 52 minutes. Let me guys know what you think of this version of Monster Mash. Things I might change from this video. Maybe adding the 3rd Fader, and even though it didn't really seem to do too much, you just really like the defense. The YuGiOh and Mega Hamsters were definitely lackluster. They're just really bad when your opponent can start getting that Caius chain going and just tributing over them, or tributing their monsters for Caius and just stopping you from getting those flip effects. Obviously, the reason they're run is because when they start going off, giving you the tribute fodder from the hamster to get the YuGiOh, it just becomes a great way to get some pluses, flipping a YuGiOh, popping something, tributing over the YuGiOh for a Caius, yada yada yada. Apologies for the ad that pops up, stupid dueling book. But I think it's a fun way to play the game. The Witch of Black Rose, it's a nice level 4 tuner. I don't love that it shows your opponent what card you get, but you gotta deal with it sometimes. Gallus, I think, is by far the MVP of this deck. Obviously, it really hurt. Who knows how the game would have gone had we been able to tribute over everything. It actually would have gone probably pretty decently because he wouldn't have been able to tribute the Caius for the Caius. He would have had no monsters on the field. But sometimes that happens, and I think you guys kind of see why you almost want to play none. Frankly, the Avarices did literally nothing. So maybe trying to fit, I don't know, a DD Crow or a Cyber Dragon in over those. But I feel like the Avarice, most of the time you're going to hit a monster with the Gallus and the Avarice if you can put back some Machina forces. Though, I'm also, to counter my own point, thinking that who really cares too much about drawing cards if you're just going to be drawing more monsters? A lot of times what's nice about drawing the forces, or putting the forces back and drawing cards, is that you're getting some back row that might help you survive. Maybe you draw a force and then can pitch it immediately for a fortress. But oftentimes, like, who cares if I draw 2 cards and I get, like, quick draw YuGiOh, and there's no way to convert for the quick draw, and you're now just kind of another turn where you have to wait and normal summon, because that's the problem with this deck, is you have to wait, normal summon, wait, do your play, It doesn't necessarily play proactively. I feel like you're reacting to your opponent in a decent amount. Sure, it can be nice to put up a fortress or maybe make a drill warrior and get a loop of something going. Setting a hamster or a Raiko is almost the most proactive play you can do. Because oftentimes you're sitting on a Gallus, like I was in this game, thinking, okay, maybe I'll draw a Caius, and you can Gallus Caius. Because Gallus on its own just isn't a very good card. It doesn't really do much. But let me know what you think, what changes you might make, if you think Monster Mash has any potential at all in Edison format. Do you think I should try a GOAT format Monster Mash? God, that would be no fun, especially because you have so many powerful spells and traps. But I'll do it if you guys want to see it. So thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and goodbye.